Welcome to the Beauty Salon
with Alyssa
and Frankie and our very, very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, my friend?
My name's Justin McClure, and I gotta be probably the ugliest person in the beauty salon.
Oh,
that is not
cut
true.
it out. Absolutely not.
There's nothing about me that's beauty salon.
Well, listen, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I tell you this. I mean, everybody knows your beautiful family, your amazing following on YouTube, but we want to know a little bit more about you and all of the fun things that you do, because we hear that you're also very funny.
I got to live up to that, I
Yeah.
guess. I will say I do have a beautiful family, and that I am by far the ugliest out of 5. So,
Wow. Well, if it means anything, you're not ugly.
oh well, thank you.
No, you have very
I had
nice
my day.
eyes.
See-
It's the eyes.
Oh,
You know
thank
what
you.
we should start with?
What?
Our beauty positivity, our glow up tip of the day.
Yes.
Our glow up tip of the day is always believe in yourself
And be kind to yourself.
and be kind to yourself.
But also, it's good to be self-deprecating too.
Do-
Right? Because I mean, I do
how
we'll
about self-aware?
self-aware.
Yeah.
Because self-deprecating might be a little bit like, meow.
Yeah. The thing is we'll probably get into it, but
Okay.
I'm 13 years sober
Congratulations.
this month.
Congratulations.
My whole point was that the mental health and all of these different things. I think getting sober, you don't get sober on a winning streak, if that makes any sense. And part of that is losing your ego and finding humility. So you can't make fun of yourself with a big ego, because that's how people egos are. They don't take jokes that well. But when I got sober and I realized maybe life wasn't working out well for me because I was the problem, I found humility, I found empathy. So along that path, I was able to start kind of making fun of myself because I didn't have as big of an ego. So now I think a lot of my humor kind of just drives from the fact that I'm just very playful, and it's kind of self-deprecating. But in a way, I mean, I do have a lot of confidence. I think my time passed as far as good looks, and I mean, I'm not 27 anymore. But at 27, did I think I was hot shit? Yes. And was I? Absolutely. And did I womanize the shit out of every city I was in? Yes, I did. And I did a great job. And I drank at every bar you can think of. And thankfully, nothing bad happened. But yeah. So anyhow, but thank you. I know it's kind of a rant, but
No, you know,
No.
you said something that kind of struck a chord. You said you don't realize when you're on a winning streak, and you said that you realized that you were the problem.
well,
that
you don't
struck
get in,
me.
you don't get into sobriety on a winning streak, because your way got you there. So if my way got me there and it was still working, I'd still be drinking. But there was one point in my life where I said, your way got you here. Maybe what you're doing is not working for you. And you need to stop thinking that your way is going to succeed, because your way got you here, pretty much looking in the mirror saying you're the problem in your life. And if things don't get better, your life is not going to be better. So maybe you need to start with the biggest things in your life that are holding you back, which at that point was drinking, was womanizing, which they all came together. Because I was living in New York City, and I tell the story. The story is that, there was one week, and this is, by the way, I'd already had 3 DUIs. I've been to jail 5 times because of, drunk and fighting and whatever, all these kind of things. But I remember every week, if I could just date the girl that I wanted to, I would be happy. You know how that is? Like, your happiness is so external. And I remember 13 years ago, before I got sober, I said, if I could just go out with this girl. I remember in New York, it was this pretty Dominican girl. And I'm like, man, if I could just, if she would just like me. And she did, right? And we went out, and we had a great time. And we had such a great day. And I remember walking home drunk, and I was miserable. Yet again, I'm like, Justin, why are you miserable after you supposedly got the thing that you wanted, which is a woman to adore me and like me, right? Because I wasn't happy. So I got home, and I turned on this movie, and it was called 30 for 30, the Chris Herron story. It was about an NBA player who lost his career through drugs and alcohol. I saw a lot of semblance in this, and this is the same night that I came home
And you're miserable from that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So there was one point in the movie where the guy, Chris Herron, got sober, and he changed his life. He became a hero in his community. But he went back to revisit at a 7-Eleven. He said on the show, on the documentary, he said, right here is where I got drunk and high while my kids and wife were waiting for me at the airport. And I remember this like yesterday, 13 years ago. I looked at the TV and I said, that's pathetic. And then I said, oh, wait, that's you.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
This visceral feeling, because the week before that, I wasn't able to get on a plane because I was too drunk. And I was like,
wow.
wow, who I am. I'm a grown man. And like so much shame went through my body.
Mm-hmm.
But also I had so much hope because I said, you can change it. And I said, the next day, just don't drink. Tomorrow, don't drink. I don't care if I yell at somebody on the subway, if I kick a baby, like whatever. All these bad things could happen. Don't drink. And I think that's the biggest thing that I like to share with people is that for me, when I changed, and now I've been 13 years sober, is that I didn't try to change everything at once. I didn't try to like lose 5 pounds or start getting up at 6:30 in the morning. I said, just stop drinking. And then the stop drinking led, after 6 months of sobriety, it led to therapy of me thinking, well, how did you get in this? Like, why did you do this to yourself for so many years? And I started to understand my childhood better, that it was not, my mother had me at 16. My father died when I was 4. So my mom was a widow with 2 kids at 20, and we were very poor, and Salvation Army, all this kind of stuff, right? I learned to love myself a little bit and realize that I had to get it out some way. And I chose to in my 20s and early 30s to get it out.
Had to get what out? You had to
The
get
addiction.
It, okay.
The addiction.
Okay.
The addiction transpired. The lack of love, the neglect,
Okay.
came through me drinking and seeking it through women. I was also a professional stand-up comedian for about 9 years. I never loved comedy. Now I can say that. I loved that people laughed at me because I needed it. My soul needed it because I was so empty. But when I got on stage and I would tell a joke and people would laugh, I felt validated.
Yeah.
I felt important. And then when I got after the show at the bar, maybe a woman would come up and she thought I was funny, and I would try to win her favor. This went on for years, but it was so empty because it wasn't real. I had no real relationships until that one night in New York when the whole thing happened with the girl coming home watching the movie. That was the night that I said, it's enough. Because I could see myself becoming, 40, 45, 50, doing the same thing. And it just, in my eyes, it never looked so pathetic than it did that night. When I looked at myself in the mirror and I just said, you're pathetic right now. I told myself, you are pathetic, but you can change it. It's not gonna happen overnight, but tomorrow, don't drink. And I didn't drink the next. And this story is beautiful because who we are now as a social media.
You had to go through this in order to become this.
We wouldn't be
Right.
there if this man wouldn't have got sober.
Bingo.
Because when I got sober, I changed my people, places, things. You guys live in New York City?
Yeah, Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was working on Wall Street, and I was living in the East Village,
Okay.
but it was so close to me. This is what I did, and the extremes we have to go through to change our lives if we're not strong enough. I moved to Washington Heights, and I walked home after work every day at 6 o'clock, all the way to Washington Heights.
That's a
5
a
miles,
walk.
about 4 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to podcasts for self-improvement. You know why I did it? Because I didn't know if I was strong enough to keep myself out of the bars. If I took the subway home and I got home at 6:45 and I'm diddling my thumbs, I'm like, what am I going to do? I said, I'm going to walk until I get strong. And I walked every day in the snow. Every day I walked.
That was like your distraction, kind of?
That was my distraction. But you know what? I got stronger. And then after I said 6 months, I said, I want to go into, because I had all this time to think walking. And I started to like really hate myself but love myself. Like, Justin, why would you think why did it take this long after DUIs and this and that, all these things you've done? Go to therapy. So I went to therapy. Every Wednesday I went to therapy. And after a while, like I said, I realized that I had to understand myself better to understand why I was abusing myself essentially. And then the beautiful thing is after a year of therapy, I didn't know what to do with my time. So I volunteered for New York Cares, other organizations. I was even volunteering at the Botanical Garden in the Bronx.
Wow.
And I have pictures of it. People would come up there. I'd be telling them about the magnolia flowers or whatever. These are beautiful times in my life. Fast forward about 6 months after that, I met Ami, who became my wife. Now, here's the most beautiful thing that I think. When I got sober, it wasn't only from alcohol. It was everything. I didn't date. I didn't do anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do anything.
So it wasn't just the substances that
everything.
you alleviated. You alleviated
Everything.
all of the
I moved.
dopamine hits.
Everything. I took my phone my third day I got sober. I said, I'm going to do this. I said, I don't know if I'm strong enough. So I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to walk home, right? I moved to Washington Heights. I moved up there. I took my phone and I formatted it. So I deleted every contact every contact in my phone. I clicked the button that said, like format or delete. And I said, my friends thought I was crazy, the ones that were around. I said, well, the people who need to contact me will. I have so many people on my phone that I don't know if it's going to be 9 o'clock at night and I'm going to feel desperate and lonely and I'm going to reach out to that person
Right.
and I'm going to regret it. And
You just wanted like a fresh start
yeah,
over.
and there were those nights.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks in, I'm like, oh God, I wish I had so-and-so's number. I wish and I didn't. So I had to like white knuckle it and just get through it.
Yeah.
Fast forward, like I said, a year and a half into it when I hadn't dated, none of that. I met my wife on the street up in Washington Heights. I was getting out of the subway. This is another quick, great story. I was getting out of the subway, and my wife is beautiful. I don't know if you've seen her, but she's
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And your whole family's gorgeous.
Yeah, and she's
daughters.
curvy. So
Beautiful.
2 guys were chasing her down the street. Hey, baby, hey, baby, hey, baby. I walked across the street from the subway, and I saw that, and I said, I'm going to try to rescue this woman. So I walked right up to her, and I just said, hey, listen, why don't you just pretend like you know me, like these guys are chasing you, like just you don't know me, but I'll just walk around the corner with me and blah, blah, blah. Walked around the corner with me, and next thing you know, we popped into a restaurant, got some food, and we were married within a year.
No way.
Oh my God, you saved her.
I saved her.
That's so cute.
I saved her, yeah.
You were like
Oh
her
my
knight in
God.
shining
Well,
armor,
I
or
mean-
sweatpants, whatever you were wearing.
Yeah.
You were knight in shining sweatpants.
Exactly. I don't know if I saved her because I had intentions all along. I'm like, this woman's beautiful. I'm like, but at the time I was like online dating when I was womanizing. I'm like, I'm not going to meet anybody that way. I said, I don't know if I'll meet somebody. Maybe I'll meet them in AA or whatever. But she happened to be on the street and she was gorgeous. And I just did this. And next thing you know,
That's so funny how like life works out. How you just met her on the street and now
Met her
you
on the
guys are
street.
married.
But it worked out because one, I was sober, but I was so present in my own life and I was ready for something. I wasn't juggling 12 other women in my phone or doing
Right.
all these things. I was so available to her. And last thing I'll say is that was the moment where I said, I didn't think at the time that I wanted to be a dad or a husband, but I said, you know what? Once again, your way got you where you were. Things are going pretty well right now. Why don't you just go with the flow and see if you want what you don't know that you don't have? And next thing you know, within a year, I'm married and we got kids. And then out of accident in 2017, we had a viral video that put us on the Today Show, Good Morning America. And then next thing you know, that whole thing takes off and we're a family brand. And the beautiful part about all of that all along is that our kids have just had fun and dad built the business and now it's still going on.
Oh, that's so inspiring.
Yeah.
That's why I have chills from your whole story, how you just like turned your life around.
I did, and I like to talk about it because I don't like to talk about the success of us or me. I like to talk about the trenches.
Right.
I want to, because anybody's watching this, it could be one person or 1,000. 13 years ago, I watched a movie that changed my life. Who's to say this is not that for somebody?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we never know what person is watching something and they need that thing in that moment. I mean, I've been to rehab and all these other things, and there've been other things that could have impacted me. I wasn't listening then, but there was something about that moment 13 years ago when I watched that thing on Netflix that spoke to me. I changed my life, and I haven't drank then. If we have the right message to people, this could be that moment for some people. You know,
I was gonna say I have something that I've been wanting to ask you, and I hope it's not too personal.
it can be personal.
You were the one that struggled with the addiction, but I would surmise that there were people that loved you, that were around you, that were impacted by that. What would you say to those people that are watching somebody that they love struggle with addiction? What do you tell them?
Well, before I answer, could I ask why you're emotional?
Your story is. Oh, I didn't think it was gonna hit me like that.
Maybe you're the one who needed to hear this today,
Maybe
and that's a great thing, because you're a real person. You're a human being.
on every other Tuesday.
Some people see these shows and they don't realize that we are real people. You know,
Right.
we go through real things. So, what I'm sharing right now might be impactful for you.
It definitely is, and
why
thank you for that.
Why is that?
I don't want to put anybody's things out there that they didn't sign up for, so I don't necessarily want to get oddly specific, but I can say when there's people around you that
Or is going through something similar to you, how does someone on the outside help them? So, like, if someone that is in our life is struggling with addiction, what tips would you give us to help someone?
That. Thank you.
Well, I'll be very honest. Like I said, I deleted everybody from my phone, so I didn't have any bad behavior. But I remember I met this girl, and I don't want to name her, but and I don't want to get emotional about it, but if I do, I'll let it happen because I haven't thought about it in a while. But this girl was so amazing. She took me in, meaning I didn't really have a place to stay at the time. I was making great money. I was making like 140,000, but I wasted it all. And my credit was so bad I couldn't get my own place. So, she saw that I wanted to stay sober, and she said, "Justin, why don't you come live with me?" Because it was before I moved out to Washington Heights and all that in the beginning for like a couple months, and I stayed with her, and she made a schedule of all the AA meetings around, made it very easy for me. I mean, I had to get up and go do it all, but she was just there for me afterwards to say, how did it go? What did they share?
So you had a support system.
Yeah,
to lean on.
and she wanted, and this was somebody who wasn't trying to date me.
Right.
It was a friend, and it was so awesome because I wanted to talk so much about what I was going through, but I didn't want to burden people with like it being boring or they weren't interested. But she cared so much, so I'd go to an AA meeting. She'd be like, "What did they share?" And I would tell the story they shared, or like when I got my 30-day chip, she took me out to sushi. And my little 30-day chip meant everything.
You're gonna make my mascara run. Good thing I put waterproof on today.
So you had good people in your life
So
when
the
you were
thing
going
that
through
you
this.
can do, I would say, is that we can't make people do something they don't want to do. They
Right.
got to want to go. But this person,
That's the struggle.
she, and a couple times she came to meetings, she just wanted, and that made me feel, she just sat in the back and she just loved it. And like, I just meant that was so special to me to have. So really it was that one person's all I needed. That was one person, all I needed. Now, along the way, I met people in recovery but she was not of recovery. She was somebody that I knew before who stayed in my life, that when I deleted everybody, she contacted me like the next day, what's going on? And I'm like, listen, I've made some changes in my life, and she wanted to know about them. And she's like, I want to be there for you. And she was. And I still have, fondness for that. So that's something, if you have somebody like that, if you can just be there for them in support, ask questions,
Okay.
genuine questions. How's it going? Like in the matter
Are
of
there any questions like you shouldn't ask?
no.
You think it should be like
I
if
think
someone,
I think
let's say the person is struggling with drugs,
yeah,
hypothetically.
right.
Right. Do you feel like it would be appropriate to ask that person like, have you done any drugs today? Like I don't like what is like how
Like,
do you,
is there anything that
That's not a good
triggers?
question.
that's
triggers
so
it?
that's that in it because
Because that's almost it feels
like you're checking in on them and it feels like you're
Right.
scolding them and that's never the intention, but then at the same time you're curious because you want to be there in support, but being that it's an arena that's so foreign that I know not like I'm unfamiliar, I don't know how to navigate it.
yeah. I think saying something like that could seem genuine, but it will come off like accusatory.
Yeah, and passive
What you would
aggressive.
do is just, hey, I haven't seen you in whatever it is.
How you doing?
Hey, I want to take you to coffee today. I got time, whatever your schedule's like, or tomorrow, but I want to see you in the next couple of days. That's it. And then you'll have a great conversation, and that will probably come out. Like,
You'll see it.
yeah, or you could ask then. But I think the genuine thing is to say, hey, I want to see you.
Okay.
I want to spend time with you. That's what I try to do now. Like when I know somebody's in that position, I'm just like, hey, I want to see you. I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I'll make. We're all busy, but like, let me know.
Right.
Like you count.
Yes, you count. That matters a lot because a lot of times through addiction, we don't think that we count. I remember, I remember writing a suicide note one time, when I was in my addiction, and it wasn't because I was overly depressed. I was just done trying. I was just like, you just felt overwhelmed. Like, I'm just done. I just want to check out. But when people care about you, because it's all about the relationships.
Right.
But we want healthy relationships. I had so many unhealthy ones in my addiction, but I was able to build solid ones one at a time. And we only need a few people in our lives that are great. We don't need 17. We just need 3 or 4, right? Really, really good ones. So if you could be one of those for that person, you could definitely change their life.
I definitely think you've changed multiple people's lives, and thank you for being so open about everything because people don't. It's an awkward conversation, and you don't even know how to start it.
Mm.
You know, like you don't even know where start is,
Hmm.
and there's more people struggling with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's awkward till it's not. Meaning it's awkward for a few seconds and it's not anymore.
Right.
I'm really good with like even with everybody about. It's like I don't like. If you notice, I didn't shake your hand or anything. Not because I'm I just don't like.
Physical
Yeah.
contact.
No, it's awkward. So
Right.
usually,
Okay.
when I meet somebody, I do this all the time. I walk in and I say, "Hey, listen, it's good to meet you." I don't shake hands because it's kind of awkward. Like, do we hug, shake, whatever?
Yep.
Can we just say hello?
Yeah.
we-
Hey, what's
But
up?
that moment is awkward. But it's also funny because I'll make it funny. And next thing you know, it's like they know you so much. They know you so well in 5 seconds because
Yeah.
you shared something crazy.
Yeah.
Even when I leave, I'm just like, it's weird. Like, can we just, whatever? It's like so I'll do a lot of things like that in my life to get through the awkwardness. Like if I were you,
Right.
and I had a coffee with this person, I would say, you give him the 5. Okay. if I was having coffee with somebody that had an addiction, whatever,
Yeah.
this is what I would do. But this is my personality.
Yeah,
I would be there and I would say, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about the thing that you know that's going on, but it's so weird that like I don't know if we can talk about it, but I want to talk about it because I care so much. But you're probably thinking I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to do it, but I'm
Right.
doing it right now because we're talking. That would be the thing I would do,
Right.
because then it would
Make
like
it goofy.
make, and you're a goofy person.
Yeah.
So
I'm a
I would
goofball.
do that, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know, the walls go down, and it's like you're probably having a conversation about it because
Right.
you made it silly.
So let me ask you this. Being sober has so many benefits, and you mentioned therapy, but what is a benefit that you see like in the wellness world or beauty world? Do you think your skin looks better? Do you think you look younger? Like, what are some benefits from being sober that you see?
Don't even get. I mean, longevity and biohacking is like. So what alcohol and drugs do to your liver, your mitochondria? Like, I mean, it's a toxin in your body. It does age you. I mean, it kills you. I mean, they say obviously if you don't want cancer or any of these things, I mean, you got to stop drinking. So in that whole world, like, I mean, to live a long time, to live a vibrant life, to live quality of life, I mean, you got to get rid of it. So that's one thing is along the way of just the mental health, but also the physical health is just getting rid of something that is going to be a detriment to me living a long time on this earth.
Right.
So, it's huge. So I think even if I wasn't sober, I would have probably gotten sober years ago still just because of like me being so health impacted.
Right.
But
You didn't want to die.
Right.
of course.
You know, that's kind of a
course.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who wants to?
That's
I mean, my
kind
name
of
is
a thing.
Justin Kelly McClure. I got 3 DUIs. That's as Irish. I mean, I might as well kick a leprechaun. I mean,
Yeah.
that's about as far as you can be. You know what I mean? So when I realized my heritage and like all that, I'm like, yeah, why would I ever think that I would not have a drinking problem?
Well, I tell you what, it's sincerely been an honor and a pleasure to meet you and get to spend time with you today.
And hear your story. And thanks for just being so personable.
Well, I
like you
regret
said.
it. I like to, even though I'm being interviewed, I want to know people. And I feel bad that I talk so much.
Well,
No.
you know what? The next time you're around, we'll do a round 2.
Okay.
How's that?
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
Because you guys all have interesting stories, and like I said, we're all human beings, so I wish I got to hear more from you guys. But I'm glad that I got to share something, and hopefully, I know what I said impacted you, and hopefully somebody watching it, it's impacted them as well.
There's no way.
For sure.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for
And-
coming on. And if anyone doesn't know you, can you tell them where to find you?
If they're on YouTube, we're the Mighty McClures, Justin McClure on Instagram, JK McClure. And if you're interested in learning more about the light, it's Ultralight, LITE, it's for creators. But I'm not going to promote it. The people who need it will buy
Oh my
it.
God, guys, you have to look up this light.
It's
I'm telling you,
awesome.
it's
But
so
it is,
freaking cool.
I'm super
I need
proud of it.
one.
It weighs 1.5 pounds.
It's so cool.
It's brighter than a ring light, and it's portable. So
And it really is light. He's not lying. Like, you
No,
could literally
yeah.
hold it with one hand and not get a cramp in your wrist.
my 7-year-old son holds it out like this and does his little thing,
What is it called?
Ultralight.
The
Ultralight.com?
Yep, if you look right here, ultralight.com. And I'm selling it now, and
Bazinga.
there's nothing greater than looking right here. Order just came through 11 minutes ago.
Congratulations.
The whole
We love
ka-ching,
QVC
ka-ching,
moments.
ka-ching. Because the greatest thing is like bringing something into the world that people agree with, and it's like, man, I did that. So,
Awesome.
Well, thank you for bringing it.
Yes, and thanks for coming on today.
you.
You guys can find me at Alyssa Grassi on all socials.
And you can find me at the Frank Joseph on all socials. Toodaloo, tootsie.
Bye.